Hello guys, how are you? My name is Professor Aftab Khan, and we start our lecture today regarding thesis seminar. Yes, we discussed so many things in the past, so many chapters we already discussed regarding the research work and how to write an effective and a comprehensive research in a comprehensive manner. In the continuation of those lectures, which we already discussed, at first we will do a little bit of recap regarding this. In the first weeks, in the prior weeks, we discussed how to write, what is the meaning of research, how to write a research, how to write an effective uh, title, what is the difference between title and question, is title and question are same, how to write an hypothesis, okay, how to write a research summary, which is an abstract, which is a very important thing. uh, okay, so in the continuation of those lectures, again we will discuss how to write a research introduction. You know, my dear students, to write an introduction of a research, this is also a very important element, because research has 8 elements, and introduction is also a very fundamental element of the research work. So today's chapter we will gonna discuss that how we will write an effective research in a comprehensive manner. So our chapter name is Research Introduction. Okay, so an introduction. What is a research introduction? The introduction of a research paper can be the most challenging part of the paper to write. The length of the introduction will vary depending on the type of research paper you are writing. An introduction should announce your topic, okay, provide context and a rationale of your research. Before stating your research question and hypothesis, a well-written introduction set the tone for the paper, catch the reader's interest, and communicate the hypothesis or thesis statement, and vice versa. Okay, so you know the announcement your research topic. You can start your introduction with a few sentences which announce the topic of your paper and give an indication of the kind of research questions you will be asking. This is a new way to introduce our readers to your topic and uh, the technique and the interest. So the first few sentences should act as an indication of a broader problem which you will then focus on more closely in the rest of your introduction, leading to your specific research questions. Okay, so in the scientific paper, this is sometimes known as inverted triangle. In the scientific paper, this is sometimes known as inverted triangle. The triangle is this shape, okay? But if you will invert this like this, so it will become in this shape. When you start with the broadest material at the start, before zooming it on the specifics. The sentences throughout the 20th century, our views of life on other planets have drastically changed, introduces a topic but does so in broad terms. Okay, so it provides the reader with an indication of the contents of the essay and encourages them to read on, and vice versa. Okay, so the second one is to consider referring to keywords. What are the keywords, and you have to refer it. When you write a research paper for a publication, you will be required to submit it along with a series of keywords which gives you a quick indication of the areas of research you are addressing. Okay, you may also have certain keywords in your title which you want to establish and emphasize in your introduction column of your research. For example, if you were writing a paper about a behavior behavioral sciences when exposed to a particular substance, you would introduce the word and the scientific name of the relevant compound in the first sentence. Okay, if you were writing a historical paper about the impact of the First World War, suppose, on gender relations, for example, in the Great Britain, you should mention those keywords in your first few lines. Okay, so this is this is the thing in which we're gonna consider referring to the keywords. So the keywords must not be more than, we can say this 5 or 6, because this is a normal structure of a research paper. If your keywords are more than 5 or 6, which can say this, that your keywords column is not a keyword column, which can say this, that this is a title column. Okay, so you have to be careful that while writing the keywords column, you must write not more than 5 keywords, or you must select not more than 5 keywords, or vice versa. You will never use, you can say this, a question mark, okay, or an exclamatory type of phrases in your, because a keyword is simple structure in which you are writing or using the keywords. And always be remember that your keywords will generate from your title structure. If your title is effective, your keywords are effective. Okay, and if your keywords are effective, your introduction is effective. And if your introduction is effective, your hypotheses are effective, and vice versa. So you can say this, that all the research based on your title. If your title is effective, your whole research is effective. If your title is ineffective, your whole research is ineffective, and vice versa. Okay, so which can say this, that in easy sense, your research is based on your title. Your research is based on your title, and we already discussed this in the previous chapters, that there is a difference between a title and a question. The title cannot be a question in the research. The title, we can never end with a question mark. We can never end with an exclamatory mark. Okay? The title is simple. We will never begin our title with any cautionary sentence. When, where, how, is, are, or vice versa. Or any nature of the word which belongs with the cautionary sentences. Because the title is a title. It has some value. The title can never be a question. So, effective research needs effective title. And if your title is effective, definitely your keywords are effective. And if your keywords are effective, you will generate your introduction with the help of your keywords. Okay? And then with the help of your keywords, you can generate your variables. Whether it is dependent or whether it is independent, it depends on the nature of your word. So the words in the research is very important, believe me. The words, whatever the words which you are using in your research work, it must be have any relevance with your research work. Otherwise, your research will be ineffective. Otherwise, your research is not countable, is not credible. Okay, so this is the way which we gonna do our research in a comprehensive manner, in a professional manner. Okay, so defining any key terms or concepts in the research work, it may be necessary for you to clarify any key terms or concept early on your introduction. Okay, if you have any key terms, and how you will generate your key terms, with the help of your keywords. Your keywords, which is generated from your title, is your key terms. These are the terms which we're gonna discuss in your research work. Okay, and these terms, these keywords also belongs with your problems, with your problem solvings. Okay, so it may be necessary to for you to clarify any key terms or concepts early on your introduction. You need to express yourself clearly throughout your paper. So if you leave any unfamiliar term, if you leave any unfamiliar term or concept which is unexplained, your risk to your readers do not have any clarity. Do not give any clear understanding of your arguments. And if you are fail to give clear understanding of your arguments, your justification of your research will be null and void. You cannot justify yourself. So you have to write those terms which you already understand by yourself. You have to write or you have to use those terminologies, those key terms in your research which you understand well, and you can justify this in your research work. Okay, always be remember, because a lot of students, or the majority of the students in my previous practice, they do a copy paste. So something which you are copying and pasting in the presentation section, in the presentation of your research, or in the defense of your research. For example, when you will go for a PhD level, at this stage you are masters, but after masters definitely you will go to your PhD level. So if you will go to a PhD level and you will not justify, or in your defense, in your PhD defense, which the arguments which you are using in your research work, and the arguments again based on your key terms, which are the keywords, and your keywords is based on your title. Okay, so this is a chain reaction in my point of view. One chain is binded on another chain, one step is binded on another step. So if your fundamental foundation step, which is a key, which is a this is the topic or the title of your research, is you can say this is strong, your keywords are strong, your terminologies, and then you're strong, your introduction column will be strong, and vice versa. So this is a very important thing in my point of view, that it generates with your effective introduction, and then effective keywords, and then effective introduction, and then vice versa. So this is a special importance. This has a special importance if you are attempting to develop a new conceptualization that uses language and terminology your readers may be unfamiliar with. Okay? So introduce, and the other step is to introduce the topic through a, through a quotation. If you are introducing a topic to a quotation, if you are writing a humanities or a social sciences essay, you can find more literary ways to begin your introduction and announces the topic of your paper. It is common for humanities essays, humanities research work, in particular, to begin with an illustrative quotations that points to the topic of the research. This is a variation. Again, this is inverted triangle technique. Inverted triangle technique. Okay? An inverted triangle technique tell us that you have to start your topic of the introduction with a quotation. Sometimes this methodology is acceptable, but sometimes this methodology is not acceptable, but it depends on the nature of your research. For example, if you are the law researchers, if you are doing law, and if you are the law students, most of the students are law, so you can write your introduction with starting with a quotation. You can do this because law students, majority of the law students, your researches are qualitative side, and if your research is qualitative side, definitely uh, you you have a framework. Okay, you have different frameworks, different models, and you are analyzing your frameworks, and vice versa. But if you are doing a science research, okay, I understand you people are not science researchers, you people are law researchers mostly. Okay, or maybe few of them are business related. So business relation also has, we can say, the 50% or 60% researches belongs with the qualitative side, but majority of the researches are also with the quantitative side. But if you're using your research which has a relation we can say this, that which has a relation with the qualitative side, then you can use your introduction section of your research with the quotation. No problem about this, because quotation belongs with the models and belongs with the framework, and with the help of these simulations you are doing this. But in the scientific manner, this technique is not allowed. If you are a science student, if your research is totally has a dependency on the quantitative side, then it's not possible. Okay, so if you use to ensure that is a short or a highly relevant of your research, it has to be function in the same way as an alternative opening, namely to announce the topic of your research paper to your reader. For example, if you were writing a sociology paper about reoffending rates among young offenders, you could include a brief story of one person whose story reflects with and introduces your topic. So these sentences also, again, it relates with your simulations. It relates with the models or the diagrams or the figures, and with the help of those diagrams, figures, simulations, you are finding your research work. You are finding your research result, and vice versa. So we can say this, that in my point of view, if you are a law student, uh, law studies are easy, because in my point of view you belongs with only you know qualitative side. The quantitative side is not involved in this, and because in the quantitative side, you know you will use a lot of statistics. And what are the statistics? But we cannot say this, that all the law researchers, if you are the law student, and all the law researchers belongs with the qualitative side. Some few of the researchers also belongs with the quantitative side, with almost 5% or 10%. And but you should know this, that what are the research techniques you will use in your research work. So the very fundamental technique, always be remember, whether you are doing a qualitative research, again the mean value or the average value or the minor statistics involved in this. We cannot say this, that no statistic involved. No, it has some relation with the statistics, which is the mean value, but not beyond the mean value. And what is the mean value? Average. And what is the average? The number of the population divisible with the population rate. That's it. But in the quantitative side, in the numerical side, first you will find your mean value, and then you will find the variance with the help of the variance calculator. You will go to the Googles and write variance calculator, and you will put your mean value. But how you will find the mean value? Then another question arises. If you do not know how to find the mean value, so this is a nonsense thing, no? So how to find a mean value? Mean value find very easily, and again I'm repeating my sentences. With the help of the normal calculator, you will find it. But if you do not have the calculator, and you will find your mean value will more accurate, with more accuracy, then you will go again to the Google and write the mean value, and then put the in the website column, you will put the numbers of your population divisible by the number of your sample size, and automatically the mean calculator, which belongs with Google's, will give you the exact answer. Okay, but if you are copying the exact answer, you should copy the formula also. Okay, which expresses that no, you have done this. If you are, so see, this is acceptable in research, no problem with it, that If you are using a calculator, you can use it. If you are using a Google calculator, you can use it, but you have to give the reference, and the reference belongs with the formula which you are copying from the Googles. But in the reference column, you can write this, no problem at all. And then what you will do, you will find the variance. Again, the variance calculator, very simple. The research calculation is very simple nowadays. And then you will find the standard deviation with the help of the variance value. Again, the standard deviation calculator. And then after finding the standard deviation, you will find the coefficient of variance, which is the z value or the p value. Okay, so you will find your z value, and your z value must come in the negative, because if your z value comes in the positive, which means that the confidence level of your research work is has very minor. And if the confidence level of your research work has comes in the positive, in the minor way, which means that your another hypothesis, which is the hypothesis number 2, which is the alternate hypothesis, has a significance value. Okay, so you have to be careful and take care of this. So this is the thing which we're gonna discuss in today's chapter regarding the introduction, how to write an effective introduction. And again, I'm repeating my chain reaction, that effective introduction belongs with your effective keywords, and your effective keywords belongs with your effective introduction. If your introduction is effective, your keywords are effective, and if your keywords are effective, your introduction is effective, and vice versa. Okay, so without effective introduction, you cannot make an effective research, because your introduction belongs the whole story of your research work, which also belongs with your problem statements. Okay, so you can use these type of techniques in your introduction column. And in the introduction column, this is a very important column, because in some part of the world, in the introduction column, researchers use the techniques which are the statistical techniques involved. And then, because after the introduction column, your your result column will comes. So now this is a stage that you have to find the result of your research work, because we only have 1 month left in our final examination. And we also know, because of the coronavirus, there will be no final exam. And in this course, again, this is a subjective course, this is a thesis course, no final exam. Your final exam based on the thesis which you, or the thesis project, what you are doing this. So now my request is this, that in this week you must complete your introduction column, and in the very next week you have to find your research values, and vice versa. Okay, you have to find out your research values, your results, and after the result, you know you will find the findings, which are the implications of your research, to sum up your research faster. Okay, so I'm repeating my messages, which I give the message to you in every lecture. Please give me your assignments on time, give me your reports on time, because as soon as you will give me your reports, as soon I will give you evaluate it and give you the gradings, and vice versa. So please give me your reports on time, and do this introduction column in this week. And in this stage you must find your research results, and then the implication, because the research result, it hardly is one paragraph or one page, and then the implications or the findings of your research. These are, again, there will be 3 elements, and these 3 elements belong with your introduction. and with other smaller elements. Okay, so 1 week which we're gonna discuss your result, 1 week which we're gonna discuss your implications, and 1 week which we're gonna discuss your findings. And then and the references you are doing continuously, and you have to sum up your research accordingly. Okay, so please, my humble request to you that give me your research, submit it to me on time, and do some special attention on it. And as soon as possible in this week, you must complete your introduction column to sum up your research work. So please do it at your earliest, because we have to close our research, we have to finish our research accordingly. Okay, so I hope you understand this chapter, this learning, this topic, and this is a very comprehensive learning. You enjoy this, and if you have any comment, so you can commit me in our cyber YSU website, so I will reply you accordingly. And if you do not understand anything, so please comment me in the message column, so I will reply it as soon as possible. I hope you understand this is a very easy thing, and you learn a lot. Thank you very much. Till then, goodbye.